What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here, and welcome back to another match preview here on the channel. Today we have ourselves Barcelona versus Mallorca, which on paper, and I say this a lot, it seems that Barcelona are going to win it very easily. A Mallorca side which hasn't won any of their last 6 away games in La Liga. So it might simplemente pinta que vamos a tener un buen partido, ¿o no? Yes? Spanish, you understand? I guess not, so let's just get right into my hot takes. So number one, I have to say that Rakitic and Valverde seems like they are making up. You know, their relationship is not just over, and with this, it might be a good hint as to why Rakitic is been playing many of the last few games. I have to say that on an individual level, his performances have been good, and yes, we haven't been able to see Arthur because for whatever reason, and I think that if Arthur plays, his levels will also be very good, but from what we've been able to see, and more especially Valverde, he will have to go with Rakitic. I think that this kind of relationship that they have, or something that is going on, will reignite again, and that will see Rakitic get a lot more game time, not only in this game particularly, but I think for the latter stages of our campaign, because the first half is closed. Now we have the second one, and that's where the big important matches come. I think that we're gonna have a very good hint as to who is Valverde's favorite from now on when it comes to a Clásico. Is it gonna be Arthur, or is it going to be Rakitic? So number two, my hot take is going to be that Mallorca won't get relegated, and the relevance of that hot take to this match is very important. I'm trying to say that Mallorca must not be underestimated. People may come here to this game, especially at the Camp Nou at home, and we may just overlook Mallorca completely. But in reality, yes, they're not doing that good, but they're not the worst out there in the Spanish top division. Celta Vigo are worse than them. Espanyol, yes, we're talking about the Espanyol, you know? They are worse than Mallorca with only 9 points out of 16 games, and then we have Leganés. So Mallorca are not down there just because they are a new team coming up to this new season. No, they're a team that are kind of playing okay. They're not doing the best, but they're trying to stay up, and they have the tools, in my opinion, to stay up. Those tools we're going to be talking about a little bit further down the line, which players are those ones to watch. But for now, I have to say that we might not underestimate this team. They're not the worst the league has to offer. So moving on to my predicted lineups, we're going to be going with what I would call a back to basic for Ernesto Valverde. Ter Stegen is going to be going in the goalkeeper position. Through the right, Sergio Roberto, Piqué, Lenglet. Through the left, we're going to be having Junior Firpo because Jordi Alba is just not there quite yet. Then in the middle of the park, I'm going to go with Busquets, Frankie de Jong, and Ivan Rakitic. This is once again not the decisions that I would do if I was the manager, but I'm predicting what Valverde will do. And then up front, I'm going to be going with Luis Suarez, Lionel Messi, and Antoine Griezmann. In the case of Mallorca, I must say I'm not the biggest connoisseur of their players, but this is the lineup I've built for them. We have Manolo Reina as the goalkeeper, in midfield made out of Sastre, Valgent, Raillo, and Games. The three-man midfield being Febas, Baba, and Sevilla, and up top we have Daniel Rodriguez, Ante Budimir, and Takefusa Kubo. And before I go into the main course, the main debate of this video, which is going to be going that back to basics mentality that we should have in this game against Mallorca, I want to comment a little bit about that team, about Mallorca, and those kind of ones to watch that we should be out on the lookout for. So first of all, we have to talk about Takefusa Kubo, which is that player that we let go, and he is close to Lago Jr., the most productive players that they have in that team. 1.5 dispossessions, and even though this is a negative stat to his creative play, he's trying stuff. He's out there trying to dribble past players and making things happen. Lago Jr. is one of those players that can just simply pull something out of nowhere. We've seen it against Real Madrid, and simply the nightmare that he gave Álvaro Odriozola. Thankfully, I don't think he's gonna be starting this game, and might even be a doubt for any time throughout the game to come as a substitute. And the same goes for Ante Budimir, which has at least a 1.4 shot per game. These are cases where this team is creating the chances but not necessarily putting them away. But we must remember, in football, anything can happen, and if the chances are gonna be there, and we know Barcelona allows them, it only takes one of them to hit the back of the net, and then it's gonna be spelled trouble for us. So we must be very careful in this. And just like I say, do not underestimate Mallorca, because one of these players can pull something out, and if that falls into the back of the net, then we are in trouble. I have to say that, in my opinion, Barcelona couldn't get this game at a better moment. Barcelona are coming from actually a good performance against Dortmund, and what is for me an anomaly against Atletico Madrid, a game in where Atletico are just going to be putting things very difficult, but at the end of the day we did manage to get the 3 points, so that's a mentality boost. You know, that is kind of like a motivational support when affronting this game against Mallorca. We should be building on that, and it's time for Barcelona to nail down what are we going to be playing for the rest of the season. Dembélé is injured, and he's going to be until February, so from here to there out, the front three, I don't think is going to be changed that much. We might be seeing Ansu Fati to come in to try and change a result. The same with Carles Perez. But Antoine Griezmann, Messi, and Suarez is going to be what I believe we're going to be seeing. So there's going to be time from now on until February where Dembélé comes back, and I think there's going to be some rotation there perhaps, where those players need to start understanding each other. And that's perfectly fine. It's time that they get continuity. It's time that they get constant games where they are trying to understand and learn from one another. But the same thing should be happening to the midfield. Ernesto Valverde is constantly changing that 3-man midfield. And it's time once again for him to make that decision. I believe that before it was just going to be Arthur and perhaps Arturo Vidal to a certain extent. But now when we have the January transfer window opening very, very soon, it's up for us to make those sort of decisions. Aleñá is not going to be there, and it seems that Rakitic is joining the party. So which of those 3 players, Arthur, Rakitic, or Vidal, is going to be making up Barca's midfield? Because for the moment being, in every crucial game, we've seen De Jong and we've seen Busquets. So who is going to be the last one? Is it going to be the experience of Rakitic? Is it going to be the dynamism of Arthur, which is what I would choose? Or is it just going to be the aggression and passion of someone like Arturo Vidal? It's time for Valverde to make that decision, and a game against Mallorca is a good moment, a good chance to consolidate that main 11 that we want to see. So with all of that being said, my prediction for this game is going to be a solid 4-1 victory for the home team, which is going to be Barcelona. But I still have this feeling inside of me, and I'm going like completely off script. Barcelona have always managed to disappoint us in some way or another in each game, and I'm hoping that this can be just a good solid game, just full 90 minutes where we actually do play good. All the time I seem to be worrying about one player, or I have to worry about the manager or the wrong substitution coming in or something like that. But I'm just hoping that against Mallorca we can get a good, not necessarily easy, but manageable, digestible opposition that will make us feel good about ourselves by the time the final whistle goes off. So please, let's close our fingers and let's try to get a good result. 4-1 victory, guys. That is my prediction. See you in the next one. That's going to be everything for today. Ciao.